It's been quite a year for the actor Tom Hiddleston. He's worked with Kenneth Branagh, Woody Allen and Steven Spielberg. And to top it all off, he's nominated for a BAFTA Rising Star Award this week.
Tom plays Captain Nichols in War Horse, which is in cinemas, of course, from today. We'll speak to him in just a moment. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You okay?
Yes, very good.
Do you like darts?
Yeah, well, I've watched it a few times, but I wouldn't say I was a die-hard fan. But it's not like a regular viewer.
When we make our movie, you wouldn't rule yourself out?
No, I could put the weight on, like De Niro in... is it Raging Bull? He puts all the weight on when he's playing that boxer, yeah.
Very good.
Give it a go.
We'll put you on the list. Let's have a look at War Horse.
He won't be any good in the war neither. He shies at every sound.
I'm sorry.
What Joe's going, I'm going too. I'm volunteering.
I see. What's your name, lad?
Albert, sir.
And how old are you,
19,
Albert?
sir.
Is that the truth?
No, sir, but I look 19 and I'm bigger than most 19-year-olds and I'm strong, sir, and I'm not afraid of
I
anything.
don't doubt your qualifications, Albert. But the law was very clear about the proper age for soldiering. And your father's done what he had to do, you know that. 30 guineas isn't nearly enough to purchase a horse as fine as your Joey. I know that. But it's all I've got. Will you lease him to me, Albert? To be my own mount? I promise you, man to man, that I'll look after him as closely as you've done. I'll respect him and all the care that you've taken with him. And if I can, I'll return him to your care.
Oh.
Well, how very decent of you.
Thank you very much.
What a gentleman.
Well, I was trying to be. I think Captain Nichols is almost an emblem of the doomed youth of that time, that generation. You know, a kind of a gentleman officer adhering to a kind of code of honor and chivalry that really was wiped out by that terrible war.
Yeah, and of course it focuses so much on the First World War and the role, of course, of these magnificent horses in it. Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Phenomenal director. Did you, I mean, when you were approached, just tell us about the phone call and and whether it was War Horse that attracted you to it or the Steven Spielberg.
Well, it was a number of things, because I'd seen the National Theatre production and I wept like a lost child. Just because it was so, I found it so powerful. So it was like theatre magic, those puppets, and the story itself is so moving, I think.
So you saw the play before you even knew that there was going to be.
The play's been running for, I think, 4 years, I think, at the National, and I'd seen it there and seen it in the West End, and then I was actually in LA, I was in Los Angeles, making a film called Thor, about the Norse god of thunder, and I was playing the kind of complicated villain for Kenneth Branagh, and I one day received a phone call, and Steven Spielberg apparently wanted to meet me. Now, I was born in 1981 and grew up on Indiana Jones and Jaws and E.T. and Jurassic Park, and you know, it's one of those things that actors say. They say, like, I'm going to go on holiday, I'm going to take some time off, I'll be at your birthday party unless Steven Spielberg calls. And we say that in the expectation that he never will. And so when he actually did, it was extraordinary and surprising, and we bonded strangely over Guinness initially, because I'd given up. I tried to give up alcohol for a time, and then in another film I'd had a pint of Guinness and realised my terrible mistake. So we started talking about Guinness and our mutual love of Peter O'Toole. And
yeah, and Tom, as we look at you, can we just expect Tom for a second? Can we go back to a picture of Tom, because when Steven Spielberg was interested in you as an actor.
There you are.
Well, there you are on set, but I think it illustrates it rather better here on the sofa. He said that you reminded him of Errol Flynn. Which, I mean, when I read that, I thought, that seems like an unlikely thing, but I can kind of see what he means with you sat there.
Thank you.
What did you make of that? I mean, that's not bad as comparison.
It's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, he was, I suppose, a kind of action hero. I still can't really compute that as a compliment, because you know, as far as I'm concerned, he is Robin Hood. You know, he was that sort of dashing, swashbuckling movie star.
I can see you in green tights.
Maybe in a remake, although sort of Robin Hoods have got a little bit more muscular these days.
There must be lots of English actors of a certain age out in LA, maybe not all working for Kenneth Branagh doing a major feature, but who are all hoping for the call, you know, as you say, from Steven Spielberg. How had he heard about you?
Well, strangely enough, he'd seen, and this is God's honest truth, he'd seen a docudrama that I'd done very early on, after I'd left drama school for Channel 5, about the Victoria Cross heroes. And it was just a three-part sort of docudrama with talking about all of the medal winners, some of them, you know, most of them posthumous. And I'd played a soldier called Jack Randall, who'd fought in Burma in the Second World War, and he did something incredibly heroic. They'd been trying to find the Japanese for some days, and his company was starving and dying of dysentery. And in the middle of the Burmese jungle, quite suddenly he saw the bunker that had been causing them all the problems, and without word, jumped out of the trench that they had been in, ran 100 yards across an open stretch of the jungle, being shot at, got shot in the shoulder, shot in the knee, took out the pin of a grenade with his teeth, posted it through the slit, and then jumped across it. And the night before, he'd written these letters to his wife, who'd just given birth to their son, who he hadn't met yet. And so I was, you know, playing Jack Randall just very briefly for 10 minutes, and he saw it, and he said, actually, that was the bit that reminded him of.
You never
Errol
know,
Flynn.
do you?
Yeah.
And you've got a Rising Star nomination.
Yes, it's just amazing. It's the BAFTA Orange Wednesday's Rising Star, which is a public vote, which is kind of amazing. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work, but there are 5 of us. It's myself and Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor in Thor, and Eddie Redmayne, Adam Deacon, and Chris O'Dowd.
And do you feel the sort of spotlight honing in on you a little bit? I mean, because you in acting, there is a kind of feel to someone, and everyone suddenly starts talking about you, and you feel you're having to give more of yourself.
No, I think that's what we do in a way, and the best directors have made me realise that as an actor, what you'll do is with each character you're revealing different facets of yourself, and I think all of us have a capacity to inhabit every extremity of, you know, of the human condition. In a way, that's why I signed up, is to have experiences I would never have in real life.
And before you go, we have been promising people all morning we talk about your incredible skills on horseback. And as we look at, I think, the practice cavalry charge from Warhorse right now, did you know how to ride a horse before you started filming?
Not quite as well as I do in these shots we're looking at here.
I'd assumed you'd used a double.
No, that's all me. This, I should say, and also my responsibility to Benedict Cumberbatch, is that those 2 guys on those horses that's really us. It's one of the most exciting days of my entire life. We were at the Duke of Wellington's estate, just outside Reading, and I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Both of those charges, the real charge, that's the practice charge for the real thing. And that was our first day at work. We were both at the front of a phalanx of 120 horses in formation, galloping across 400 yards of open plain, calling out the orders, starting up, forward to walk, walk, march, forward to canter, canter, march. The sword goes up, charge! And then the feeling of the wind in your face, the sound of the hooves of 120 horses thundering in your ears.
That is some first day at work.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you ever so much.
Lovely
Lovely
to
to
Such
see
a
you.
pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good luck with everything. Warhorse opens in the cinemas today.